want?
Hi, I'm Maria Thompson. Welcome to Teacher Time. Today, our special guest is Mr. Sean Clark.
Hi Maria, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mr. Clark?
I'm great. Thank you very much for interviewing me.
May I ask you some questions?
Absolutely.
What was one of your favorite memories being a young boy?
One of my favorite memories when I was growing up is being on a military base. My dad was in the Army, so we traveled around to different bases. So I got to learn a lot about military and kind of being and how organized it is, and just kind of being involved in that whole culture. So that was kind of a neat thing. And he was in that until I was about 7 years old when he finally retired.
Oh wow, that's very cool. I had a couple of family members of my own in the military.
Nice. It's a very honorable profession.
What career did you want to accomplish when you were younger?
Oh boy. When I was a kid, I wanted to become an architect, believe it or not. I really liked art, and growing up in Miami, Florida, we had a lot of really interesting buildings, kind of old world Spanish colony buildings, and also very modern. So I really liked kind of how both architecture styles were mixing together. So I wanted to become an architect, but that didn't quite work out. So here I am as a teacher at New Way, which I absolutely love. So.
Oh, that's really cool. That reminds me, my dad's an architect, so I see drawings of houses and places all around the house.
Nice.
During your teenage years or younger years, did you have a favorite pet?
Yes, actually. Growing up, I had a cat named Max. He was spelled M-A-X-X, 2 X's, and he was a gray cat, all gray. So he looked like the cat Churchill from the movie Pet Sematary. So all my friends used to tease me about how he was the creepy cat from the movie. But he was really not creepy at all. He was absolutely super loving and really affectionate. So I like cats a lot as an adult because of my childhood cat named Max.
That's really cool. How come did you spell Max with 2 X's?
You know what? I don't know. It just kind of it happened. My mother started putting stuff on that, like, she would give her a Christmas present, and she went, "To Sean from Max." And I'm like, okay, and it had 2 X's. So I just remember my mom, I think, spelled it like that.
Cool. Speaking of growing up until right now, who would be your 2 role models from childhood to now?
Ooh, good question. Growing up, definitely my father was my role model, bar none. He was a great man, a hard worker. He taught me how to be responsible and to be independent. And I think that was a skill that really has helped me as an adult. And now in my professional career, I think that I really respect Mr. Walker. I think that he's a great role model. He is a great ambassador for our school, and it really helps students and teachers kind of be creative in the classroom and kind of live and learn the way that they like to be. It suits their personality.
That's really cool. I'd agree. Mr. Walker's a really cool and nice guy. Speaking of back to school, either in high school or college, what is something you will remember from both or either one of them?
Oh boy. I think one of my interesting memories from college is moving out of my house for the first time and being away from my parents. So kind of learning how to take care of myself, be responsible for my own meals, clothes, washing that, shopping for myself was something that was kind of an eye-opening experience. But I think that was one of my most interesting, not necessarily a bad memory or a good memory, but just one thing that really hit home as an eye-opening experience. Growing up as a kid, I just really love hanging out with my best friends. My good friend Doug is a kid that I met in 3rd grade, and we're still really close friends today. So just having great friendships and being outside and riding our bikes and making forts and doing all kinds of kid stuff was just a really fun memory for me.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing you and Doug would do?
Man, growing up, we used to ride BMX bikes a lot, skateboard, have a lot of sleepovers and then video game time. Now, as we're adults, we do some traveling together. So we try to travel to different cities maybe that we've never been to before. We get together probably about once a month and get to hang out, have a barbecue. We play golf on the weekends sometimes. So just doing kind of fun stuff, getting us out of the house so we can catch up on old times and kind of keep track of our lives nowadays.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I hope I meet up with one of my friends along the way as well.
Nice.
Growing up, did you have a favorite PG-13 or rated R movie?
I'm just going to tell you my favorite movie overall was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and still might be my favorite movie to this day. I love the writing, I love the characters, I love the plot, I loved all of it. It just has so many good, memorable lines that I just fell in love with it as a teenager. It might have been PG-13 at the time, but you know, it was one of those John Holmes films, and he was just a master of that teenage drama and teenage angst at the time. With some of his other films were 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, Weird Science. So he was just a master of filmmaking from the 80s. So that's when I grew up, and yeah, I think Ferris Bueller's Day Off was definitely one of my favorite movies.
That reminds me of what I did in freshman year. I did like a slight video type parody of the scene.
Oh, I remember it was you and Jake doing the scene where Mr. Rooney and his sister were meeting for the first time inside Ferris's house, and there was the kick to the face and all that stuff. That was really good. You guys did a really good job on that.
Thank you. What's your favorite holiday, and what's your best memory about your holiday when you were young?
Best holiday. Most people would say it's Christmas, but for me it's always been Thanksgiving. I love food and I love family, so bringing both of those together on the perfect day, it's definitely Thanksgiving. Turkey, Thanksgiving, mashed potatoes, and my all-time favorite is the sweet yams with the marshmallows and cinnamon on top. My goodness, it's so delicious. And just the whole day, preparing food, spending time with family, watching the football games. I think that's all part of the Thanksgiving experience.
Sounds really cool. I would have to say my favorite part about Thanksgiving would be a Macy's parade.
Oh my gosh, yes. How could I forgot that? Waking up in the morning, first watching the Thanksgiving Day parade is a great memory from my childhood as well.
Will you watch football here and then on some Thanksgiving?
Yeah, there's always 2 games. Now there's 3 games, but it's historically that the Cowboys and the Lions play their home games on Thanksgiving. So that's kind of a neat piece of tradition that has to do with the Thanksgiving holiday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was it like growing up with a brother?
I have an older brother. His name is Brian. He's 10 years older than me. So we've never been super close growing up because, you know, it's like a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old. They don't necessarily have a lot in common. But as we've gotten older, we definitely have had better experiences. We've become closer friends. As we've gotten a little closer with what we like to do. He lives in Texas now, so we don't see each other as much as we would like, but yeah, he's definitely different than I am. We have different personalities and different interests, but we get along pretty well.
That sounds good. That reminds me of my sister. I have a paternal twin sister. She's 15 minutes older than me, but we get along, so it's kind of like a twin thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that twin bond going. Nice.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Mr. Clark.
Absolutely, Maria. It was my pleasure. So I hope I did a good job, and I hope that your viewers will be entertained by our interview.
I'm sure they will. Okay. Stay tuned for next time.
Like sugar, lips like sugar, just when